texting a
Look
friend
who's
to like tell her to
back.
come on.
Look who's back.
Yay!
Yay! Yay!
Nice handwriting. Hi everyone.
Yay!
Yeah, he has good
Everyone in
handwriting.
chat.
Yeah,
Very.
it's just beautiful. Mhm.
Everybody, welcome to Laugh and Learn Orisha Part 2. Links to Part 1 are below. Links to all of this lovely stuff is below as well. Links to Jamie's channel are below as well. And I just want to be very clear, know your limits, purchase responsibly. Because, but Aminat's going, go ahead and purchase that. Go ahead.
I'm sending a text to my friend too.
Oh, yeah. Here.
There we go.
That's so much better.
Perfect.
Oh, so much better. Thank you. It took me a second. And this is, we're continuing the idea of the laugh and learn, but I am going to spend a little bit of time with the deck casual aspect of it if people missed that the last time.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you guys? Hi everyone in chat. Everyone's saying hi. I'm not on YouTube, so I can't respond.
Okay.
Great, yeah. Great to be back. Oh yeah, I was I challenged Gerald, so I got my own fan. Well, my friend bought this for me from Nigeria. Even though his has a dramatic this is nice.
Yeah, I love it.
Wait, this is nice.
This is nice.
Wait a minute. Now I see why you do. It's nice.
Yes, exactly. Well, let's say hi to some people so that we can get going. Kindness and Light is here. Lisa and Beth, Aspasia Rising. I don't know if you know this person. Julie Kushia Watts is here. Oh,
never heard of her.
Never heard of her. Work lurking. Yeah, who's that? Kristen is here. Good to see you. Pia's Life, hello. And I'm just following along. Nancy. Hi, Nancy. Good to see you. And Rossi's Den, hello. Beth is loving the colors and the patterns.
Thank you.
And Plucky Heroine is hello. Is Plucky Heroine is hello. Plucky Heroine is here. I'm so excited. I can hardly handle this. So David is here. Hi, David.
Hi.
Good to see you.
Hi.
And again, if you don't know, this is Aminat. She's the creator of the Iyami Oracle, which looks like this. And the yeah, we're both doing this. It's like, ooh. Jamie, what's going on for you?
Lots of appointments this morning. Having my coffee, chilling. Trying to find my deck because it disappeared. And I found it with just enough time to spare.
Wow.
Yep. It did not want to be found. I haven't been able to find it for what? 3 weeks?
Maybe.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it sleeps with me. So that's the thing. It's like, where did you go? Why are you hiding right now?
But it's better now. It's better. So
found it just in time.
Yes. So again, I want to say, if you have not seen the playback for the Laugh and Learn Orisha Part 1, please do so. It was quite great. It was awesome. You were awesome. Aminat, you were awesome.
Yes, oh, really? Thank you.
Yes. Here, let me say this again. You're awesome.
I love it. Thank you.
I want to know which
that noise. I love it.
Yeah. Which Orisha would have a fan?
Yeah, Oshun and Oya as well. Because Oya is the wind, and Oshun is dramatic. So I would say both of them.
Yeah.
I just blew a kiss to Manasa.
Manasa is here. Hello. Saying hello to you. This is Manasa. So
How are
thank you
you?
for showcasing her deck
Welcome.
and her talents. Glad to do it.
Mhm.
And yeah, and Nancy is right. It's crazy when you can't find a treasured deck.
Yeah, they
happens in
kind
here
of
all
go
the
to the
time.
ethers, but maybe they
Mm.
go working or something, and then they come back. Usually, when spiritual items disappear,
Mhm.
some people say they're off to do some work and they're coming back.
Mhm.
I actually agree with you.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I'm not sure I know this person. Hello,
that
glad
is
to
my friend. That's the lady I was just texting.
Ah,
She's in
nice.
Orisha. She's a yeah as well. She's a
Nice.
initiate of Oshun as actually. Whilst we was talking about Oshun, that's the lady I said I was texting to see
Okay.
the drama of the fan. I know he love his fan, right? I'm just jealous. Me and her have been talking about
I'm
that fan
dramatic.
behind the scenes.
You know, it's true. So,
Oh,
all right.
yeah.
So, this deck is available. Links are below. Know your limits. Purchase responsibly. It ships in a lovely box,
Mhm.
and it has a nice little ribbon. Comes with a lovely guidebook that is in full color. I mean, come on, people, full color. It's glorious.
Thank you.
You also send people a PDF of
Yes.
a summary, and I think when you said the second edition of this will have this included in the book.
Yes, it will.
Okay.
It will. It
So
will. It will.
so nobody can flick a fan like our
That's
Joe.
very true.
True.
Yeah,
Agreed.
that's true. So there are and so here are the back of the deck. Here's the back of the deck. It is a rose petal finish, and it's a deck to shuffle by the corners, or to overhand.
Yeah.
And
It's
yeah,
quite
They
and
feel like fabric.
like
That's what I
stuff.
like about them.
so if you need this, it
It's measurements are like, what is it? 12 by
4 by
13 about 12 by 14,
11 by
11 by
14 millimeters
14.
centimeters
Mm-hmm.
millimeters. It's really, really small if it's millimeters.
Tiny.
Oh yeah, it feels like velvet.
Yeah. I like it. How I describe it is shuffling fabric pieces that are, I just love shuffling it by the corners. It makes me happy.
The edging, it's just plain edges. This isn't something that I want to edge, to be honest with you. It shows
I
up.
modify everything, and I have no desire to modify this, which I find fascinating.
Yeah, it's and okay, and that for me, I would say, because I've been using this for a couple of weeks. I did daily polls with this. Really clear messages. I posted some of those on Instagram, and I think you saw some of those. But then for the full and new moons, I pick an overarching Orisha to help.
Right. Nice. Mm-hmm.
And then I also have done that for my months. So it's like incredible. Yeah, the deck is anointed.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, we've been using it for a while, Gerald.
Yeah, we have been using it for a while.
Not just a couple of weeks.
2 months, right?
Yeah. Well, in a month.
Yeah, about
in a month
good
prior
month
to that. So.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Okay.
Yeah. So, so there you go. And so we have challenged Aminat to pick 7 of her favorites cards. And I want to share, because when we were finished with our live, we chatted after a while, afterwards.
For a while.
Yeah, because it was so exciting, so much energy. But then later, Jamie and I, with my husband Jeffrey's voice, we were talking about what might be the next thing to do with you. And we were doing readings with the cards to see. And this is where it was like a 2 and a 5. And, it was like, it ended up that the number 7 came up and was very important.
Okay.
You remember that? It's like, okay. So, Linda de Gonzalez is here. Hi, Linda.
Hi, Linda.
So, and we thought that this would be a wonderful way for you because you did such a thorough and kind explanation of Orisha and what that means. Because I asked, how would you expect, how would you encourage someone not in the culture natively to work with? And I mean, you nailed it. You were like going,
Symbols.
yeah, symbols. Show up. Start working with them. They're
Exactly.
they're
Colors.
they're very
Icons.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to shut up for a second. I'm going to take a sip of my beverage and let you say hi to people if you want, but then you get to share your first one.
Okay. So hi everyone. Welcome back. And it's good to be back. Should I just go straight in?
Straight in.
Intuition.
Straight in.
Somebody was saying something. This is the first one that I have on my Instagram. So this is Aj, and the subtitle. Oh yeah, we might as well explain it to them now. So I have the name of the illustration. Often in the deck is either the name of Orisha itself, and Orisha is those are the four forces of nature in Yoruba culture. So I will often have, if I wanted to do, like, this is an actual Orisha, so that's supposed to be her hands, and I will also have a subtitle, and that's one of the ways that I use to draw West Africans in, or people who are not practicing the culture, who are not familiar with the culture. So the subtitle just tells you the symbol that's linked to this particular illustration. So this is Aj. This is the Orisha of she actually represents physical money itself. The physical money back in the olden days in West Africa used to be linked to cowrie shells, because cowrie shells come from water, and the belief is that there is great wealth and abundance underneath the ocean, right? Because we don't know, like that old saying goes, you don't know what lurks underneath the depths of the sea. So the West African ancestors believe that water is linked to money, and the manifestation of that physical money in and of itself is a deity in Orisha called Aj. And that's her. So I just wanted to do something really, really simple, because the idea behind this, the reason why I love this is because I'm a person that really likes symbolism, and I wanted to really convey to the public that money is not something that you can control. And even in the West African stories about her as well, she comes and goes as she pleases. There isn't anything specifically that you can do that can force this particular Orisha to stay with you. And the idea behind her coming to you is that abundance coming to stay with you. So I really wanted to conceptualize that. I wanted to put that down, and I wanted to do it in a very simple way. And I was just thinking and imagining. I think I saw some pictures online of somebody, playing around with water. And I said, how they always say you can't hold on to water. Water is the most strongest force in nature, but you can't hold on to it. So I said, okay, so water is money, and Ajaje is the spirit of money. You can't hold her. So the next best thing was to then, use the cowrie shells. And the artist that I have, he's just amazing. Like, if I explain something to him, sometimes bring a picture, voice notes, me and him work on such a mental plane, and he was able to bring that forth. And the colors I love, because that's gold. I always love the color gold. And I like how the gold, because gold is money as well. Gold cowries, the elegant woman's hands. I just love it because of the simplicity. It's a very, very simple illustration, but the symbolism behind it is just powerful, because you can't hold on to money. You can only you can only work with that energy.
Yes.
If you try to hold on to money, that's how it dissipates.
Yes. Go ahead, Jamie. What did you want to say anything? Because I've
No.
got, well,
just Aminat's friend mentioning why they call it currency or to go
current. Exactly. Yeah. Right. Bank. Water.
Yeah.
You see, and it goes back to what we're talking about. What you just said, Jamie. What and Anish said as well. With that question, what will I say to a person who is not in the tradition, who's wondering how to use this? Look at how we just made that, banks current.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, you have this West African deity that is money in and of itself, and she's connected to water. So you see how the West meets, is it Africa in the East? I don't know. How do they say Africa?
Well, how different cultures
coincide.
They
merge. So that our archetype is there in your mind already. So if you talk about money, like current, you think about it. So if I say money is water, it isn't anything that's strange, because we already have that.
Yeah, and I think about this card, and because because we have money, we also have the element of water. And it makes me think of the Four of Pentacles or the Four of Coins, is where if you hold on to it, you're going to deaden the energy of it. You take away its power because you ground it. And I have to say, this is just coming through. You said something about trying to control an Orisha.
Yeah.
Who's going to try to control an Orisha?
You'll be surprised.
Oh, yeah.
What people think.
Really, Queen? It ain't going to happen. I mean, well, you might try it.
You might try it, yeah.
Try it. And Julie said liquid assets.
Liquid assets. Look at those words we use, from a completely different culture, and how it coincides with, this ancient. So yeah, to answer the question, I think that's what it is. Anybody can use it,
So when
the archetypes are there.
Yeah, when I sit and look at this, so I look at it, so I know the abundance, I understand, but I also look at it as the offering of choose, but don't try and take it all. Right? That's kind of how I.
Yeah, because that open-handed, I think I did a post on that about, there was a time when, when this economic downturn went, and I kept pulling this card, and I was like, what's the alternate? Something else was trying to come through, and I wasn't sure. And then I looked at it just like how you just described, Jamie. Like I was trying to contract my spending and to stop myself from being given or whatever. And I think the message that was coming through was, don't stop the way you are. You can't contract, because if you want that abundance, you have to remain open.
Yep, being open to receive.
That's
and
it.
When I look at this card, I hear this hand with these cowrie shows coming up, Corey show, and I hear it. I have an audible sensation with that.
Interesting. That's a good one.
Yeah. And so Beth said, essential to share the same vision for the deck between creator and illustrator.
Yeah, and I was lucky to have that. 100% lucky.
Yeah. So, all right, that's number one. That was tough, but you did great. I mean, what's your number two?
So, am I going to go through the 7? I thought you guys were going to pick yours.
No,
nope.
We're going.
This is all about you.
This is all about
So this second one is actually very good, right? Because it's connected to Ajay as well. So I said, she is the physical. What am I doing? She is the physical embodiment of money, right? And remember, I said she's connected to the ocean, right? This is Ajay. So Ajay is actually the daughter of another greater deity called Olokun. Now, Olokun in and of itself just means the owner of the sea. And I'm just saying but it's not just, because this is a Orisha that is, larger than life itself, because the sea is just 70% of our earth is covered by water, right? So I wanted to kind of, if it is possible, to I don't know if I should use the word compartmentalize part of what Olokun stands for, because it's impossible to just explain this Orisha. So I I came up with this another simple illustration, and it says Ada and Ebe, right? Justice and mercy, and that is just the Ada means the sword, and the Ebe means the fan, and it means it is the tools. These are the royal tools that Olokun holds. I should actually say the icons. You know how a king has his staff of office when they're sitting on the throne, they will have that icon. So it works the same way. So these two tools here represent the Olokun's favorite icons that he or she, because it's a very primordial Orisha and manifest in both female and male. That's how you know this Orisha is super old, right? So wanted to really just do another simple illustration to encapsulate, that's the word, not necessarily compartmentalize, to really encapsulate Olokun's power. So this illustration stands for when you cross this particular deity, because he and she stands for justice. So when you are caught by this particular deity, even though you are going to get dealt what you deserve, there is still going to be an element of mercy, the fan, that the deity will show. You know, so you know how universal law, we talk about universal justice, we talk about karma. You know how we use those words and say, oh, this person is getting their karma, this is about universal. So this deity, Olokun, the deity of the sea, the owner of the sea, the color that describes this deity is all white. Anytime you come across a deity or Orisha in Yoruba culture that wears all white, they are always about truth and justice and being an upstanding person in this universe. And if a person crosses that, or if any deity, any being crosses that, the punishment is quite severe. So and that holds true for this particular deity. So I wanted to encapsulate, you know, the symbols of Olokun, and how even though you get dealt with what you deserve, there's still an element of mercy that is going to be shown to you.
I think that's an important that you are dealt what you deserve, and you are dealt that what you deserve with mercy. There is a beautiful kindness about that.
Beautiful kindness, and then it's kind of like an example of what we should emulate too. You know, human beings, we sometimes, when an enemy or whatever so-called is down, it's just basically saying, rather than sharing the fact that your enemy is falling, or this person, a perceived enemy, is falling, you could still have a little bit of empathy for them.
Yes,
because nobody really wants to see anyone down. And I also wanted to represent something in the deck that speaks of legal matters, because that's what Olokun's court kind of stands for. When you come to the court of Olokun, because he and she are like the empress of the sea. So anyone that comes to their court, this is a very serious matter. So, you know, in law, in like human law, whenever you come across the judge in a court case or whatnot, if you're standing in front of a bench in court, that's a very, very serious time, right?
Yes.
So I wanted to kind of like associate that.
And I believe, is it Olokun? I think it's Olokun who you may see in the front of courthouses here in the United States, offerings to Olokun. Is that right? Because to help with the justice. And
that's Lady Justice. I don't know what's you have to tell me the Greek. Okay, the equivalent in Roman and Greek mythology, I don't know if this is going to help, is Neptune and Poseidon.
Okay,
so I don't know what that particular deity is.
I mean,
because you're talking about the Lady Justice, right? The one with the...
Yes, my madrina is probably watching, and she's going, you know, Gerald, you know this answer, and of course I have completely forgotten, so my apologies. So, But
no, I know exactly where you're going, because Shango stands for justice as well.
it may be Shango. Yeah.
I think it's Shango that you're more, and I have that too.
Yeah.
And I'll explain how that works.
Mhm.
So basically, Ololokun is the element of water. Think Neptune, think Poseidon.
Mhm.
And see, and what's amazing is this one, I hear, like when you come up out of water and you're holding something, I hear that rush. When I see this and I see it in readings, I get the sound of the waves on the shore and
Yes,
how
and the wind.
loud, yeah, and how loud they are depends upon the
Yes.
question that I'm having.
That's deep.
So,
And that bird, the is that an ibis bird? I forgot the bird that what's the name of that bird? It's
Is it a crane or an egret?
it's a crane. It's okay, the bird that cleans itself. Because I researched it. I know the Yoruba name. I think it's the egret.
Mhm.
I think I'm pretty sure it is.
hang on.
I'm pretty sure it is. There's a bird. There's one of those birds never gets dirty.
Yes,
See,
that one.
thank you.
You're correct.
I knew it because I had to research it. I had to get the English name. So the Yoruba ancestors used that bird as a symbol for that deity, because that deity is all white. It was always dressed in all white, always immaculate, always clean.
Mhm.
Thank you, Beth.
Well, it's interesting because you talk about the imagery, Gerald, and what you hear. So I hear the tinkling of the shells as they come out of the water, that there's a specific sound that those types of shells make, and I hear that. And then with this card, I actually feel my feet in the sand and the water just lapping across my feet.
Yeah, nice. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is great. I love this. Okay. Wow.
Clean up your act. Exactly.
Mm.
Yeah, Nisha's right. Yeah, it could be a symbol. It could be a card, like to say, to clean up your art. Yeah, that's a very, very good one, because this particular deity or Olokun likes cleanliness. It's very similar to Obatatala. You were familiar with Obatala, obviously. So it's always about cleanliness. So yeah, that's a very good one.
Thanks. I needed to hear that. I need to clean my house again. Okay.
So,
wow.
Shall I move on? The next one you're talking about your god sister just did her stuff. So this is Oshun. I think everybody knows. This is one of my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that I love about this card is that face just radiates joy.
And that's what the card exactly. And that's what I was trying to capture. That part of her that radiates joy. And for anyone that doesn't know, I think most people know, Oshun is the Yoruba Orisa, and she's very Venusian. She's very Venus, very much about beauty. She has the other side. She's not all girly, because all of us have different facets to ourselves. And this is how these forces of nature might manifest as well. Sometimes water flows, like how Jamie was just describing, that gentle feel of that water on your feet at the beach. And then it can just hit you. But at the same time, that wave can come and knock you off your feet. So I wanted to capture this deity's or Oshun's that joyful side, the playfulness, the joy in work, because she is said to be the person who actually introduced hair braiding into the African society. She was a master. Yeah, she was a master at that particular craft. And that's what this name, Oshun, Oloya just means owner of the comb. And whenever you have a title like that in your Yoruba land, that means that you are the first person to start something. So this particular manifestation of her is the one that speaks of her being that hair braider, the one who beautifies, and it speaks of joy. And the cowrie shells again is a symbol, because she's also the diviner, because not only, like I was saying, the first illustration I said cowrie shell represents money, right? They also are used for divination, even up until today. So, and that's what she is as well. So I love this. This is my favorite.
I like how Beth says that face also also looks really familiar. Maybe because
it's so open. Exactly. Like it's somebody that is just a friend that you see on the street and you would just smile in her teeth and everything. It's just amazing. Well, I mean, love it.
You see, I'm getting all excited, so I'll calm the F down. I'll slow down a bit. No, I won't. But because this is an infectious smile. This is one who, if you're having a bad day and, you see that smile, you're just going to smile. It's like, look,
don't worry, be happy.
Aminat smile. Look at that. Look at that, everybody. Yeah. It's like, it's beautiful. And like Carowin said, literally cleanliness, does it include purification?
Yes. She's talking about the other part. Yes, it does. Because that color white encompasses everything.
Yeah,
we feel better after we. And Jonathan is talking about the calories. Yeah, because that calories.
And we all feel better when we look good. Your hair braider. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite. And the calories also is for the decoration. Adorns her hair, and this card just speaks. Beauty, joy, fun.
There's all sorts of combs in the background.
Yeah, all sorts of. Thank you for pointing that out, because I always forget.
Combs all over. So
combs all over. And fun fact, this was not my design. This combs. I mean, as much as I like to take credit, the artist actually had this, technique. And this was an illustration. This was the second illustration that I saw of him. When I saw it, I said, "Oh, this guy has to design Oshun." Because as soon as I saw this technique online, I said, "Oh my God, that's Oshun." I just knew it. I just knew I had to design this manifestation of her. So the artist that drew this is the one that came up with that.
So let me ask you, and I can guess the answer, but I would like to hear you say it. The artist, are they familiar with these Orisha?
Not professionally, not like, let's say they are familiar with them socially, because they're not in the tradition. Even though they live in Nigeria, they're not of the tradition. Okay. But if I said Oshun, they know who Oshun is. If I said Shango, but they don't know the inner workings. For example, he didn't realize that one of the manifestations of Oshun was actually his own technique, which is the owner of the comb. You see?
That's amazing.
Synchronicity. So,
I mean, everybody, these combs are everywhere on this.
Amazing. This is so that's his stuff.
Look, separated at birth.
I wish I looked that good. She's did I tell you guys?
Wait a minute. Stop.
This is a real person.
Okay.
Well, you are too.
You are too. And I'm going to say this. Look into the camera. Put your face right up there. You are beautiful.
Thank you. No, I want to tell you guys this. This is a crazy story about this, right?
Yes.
When we first picked the face, it was sort of like a combination of different priestesses, because with my artist, I had to be very descriptive. So I picked out different, real Oshun priestesses online. And then we just configured. I said, I want, her to have the gap tooth. I wanted to have this, her eyes. I just want the face to be, and he put it together. Last year, I traveled to Nigeria and I met a priestess that looks, wow. It's on my page, just like her. When I showed her the painting, she was like, "How did you get my picture?" I was like, "I didn't give you a picture." And and she's a real Oshun priestess as well.
Yeah,
it blew me away.
It's one of these that you can get it at so many different levels. You can, I mean, aesthetically, it's pretty, and spiritually, it's gorgeous, and
the colors,
so good.
The icons. So that's Oshun. So that's for your god sister. The next one wanted to do something again. in the trend, in the, you know, the vein of simplicity, because I don't want to complicate things, and these are very, very complex, as you know, and to Jamie as well, you've been studying, these are very, very complex, you know, deities. So my aim when I was designing these images was to kind of capture different aspects of these energies, and then use them to convey very contemporary messages, contemporary spiritual messages that's ancient, but then it applies to now. So this is another one of my favorite Orisha. So this, I wanted to describe Oya. My card is cut because this is one of my decks. That, so
it's in my pile.
It's in your pile. So
what
Orisha,
number? What
Oya,
number?
9. You know she's 9. Gerald.
Yes, I do. Sorry.
Come on.
See?
Come on.
Madrina, if you're watching, I'm sorry.
You know, your Madrina is going to be like, are you serious? You know she's 9. Who else is going to be 9?
She's 9. I know she's 9.
Who else is going to be 9? So, anyways, I'm admonishing Gerald because Oya is known as the mother of 9. She's literally famous for being, that is her moniker. That is her nickname, because it is said that she had 9 children. And depending on where you go, it says she had 9 miscarriages or 9 stillbirths, or some people said that she had 9 live children. So, Oya, if you guys remember X-Men, if anyone remembers X-Men, if you remember the character of Storm, when you want to think about Oya, that's the exact prototype. You know, so she's the deity of the wind, storms, you know, thunderstorms and change. And her, like I said, I wanted to capture that image of her as being known as the mother of 9. And you know, if you know basic numerology, we were talking about that earlier, so I found that, you know how 9 in the numerology represents endings, right? Change. In the Yoruba culture, funnily enough, she also represents change. And I said, how interesting is that? So I said I had to design, but I wanted to do something that didn't have a face, that didn't have, you know, because I have enough faces already. I said, so how can I capture her? So how I come up with the designs is I usually just think about the name and what I want to convey, and I will sleep on it. And whilst I'm sleeping, I'll just get the image, which just drop. This is what you should do. And I was like, okay, cool. Very, very simple again. And it just, you know, the whirlpool is forming. There's a change coming. It's a very slow. You can feel, I wanted to just have a painting that showed tension. You know, the beginning of the storm. You know, when a storm is about to start. I love that feeling. When I was little, I used to love that. I'm like, a storm is coming. Do you guys remember when you feel that? You feel the charge in it? Yes. That's what I was trying to, you know, illustrate. So that's my favorite.
And Beth is, you know, talked about, you know, you met the woman that you know was in the painting. She was like, and that would lead, would be that is the lead to a great human interest story. And Purple Elephant Deb H said that's a beautiful story of finding a real princess
who looks at the painting. Oh my God. And she's one of my friends now too. She's so every time I go to Nigeria, I always see her. Yeah, we're friends.
I love that.
I have to take a picture with her, and next time I go,
that's
I will.
The other that's the other part that is badass. The dream.
The dream work manifested. All of this came from dreams. If I have a question, I go to sleep.
Yep. And White Wolf Mother said it's like you feel charge or change
in that barometric pressure.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was trying to encapsulate that.
Jamie, you're hugging a card. What would you like to say?
When I see this card, especially with the series of cards that Amina has chosen, there's a definite flowing story there, which I find fascinating, the underlying part of it. But I always look at this card and you've told me this too, to, you know, use your intuition and feel the card, right? Feel the art. And it's like, depending on what your choices are will depend on where you end up in the whirlpool, right?
Yes. Oh, that's good. That's good.
How deep you go.
Really good.
And I would even say to that, Jamie, is if you fight against the whirlpool, it's harder. If you go with the flow,
Come out
and
on the other
you
side.
know you're going to go quickly.
You might end up back on the shore over here.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Good stuff. Really great. Wow, that's really good.
It is like
Really,
Edgar
really
Casey.
good.
Yeah, the Sleeping
The
Prophet.
Sleeping Prophet. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I love her, and she's just, and Oya as well. You know, she's just a rebel. That archetype. She's just a rebel, and her archetype, her Orisha, again, one that you can't hold the wind. Like when I asked my godfather to describe Oya, he was like, try to hold the wind.
Well, and it goes, there's a
You mean
lot of
him?
that.
Yeah.
That's like one of my favorite cards too.
Yeah. That's
You can't hold the wind, and you also can't hold water. You can try to contain water, but
yeah.
good luck. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So, can I?
Yes.
So the first night, maybe for the after show, but the first night that I took the cards with me and they stayed with me, remember, because I talked about him. And he came to me because I was asking questions in my dream. And he basically said, stop. I can't answer all your questions. You have to learn.
That's what he used to say to me.
You have to learn.
Yeah, that's what he used to say to me. That's exactly what he used to say. He used to, oh wow, this is deep. He used to tell me, knowledge, because I had so many questions. I think I've said this in my other interviews when I first met him, and he orientated me to what this tradition really is, being a science, a different type of science. And I would have questions every day. We used to talk every day, and he would say, no, you cannot, I can't teach you this. You have to sit. You literally have to sit, and you will absorb.
Yeah.
You just have to sit, because I had so many questions. It's the same.
Well, when I woke up in the morning, his voice was still very loud, and I panicked for a second because I thought that I was being told that no, this is not yours. This is not for you. You're not to learn this. But the feeling that went with the words wasn't a no, if that makes sense.
It was the manner. No, he wasn't that way at all. He was very passionate about also teaching women as well. Very passionate, making sure that we understood.
Yeah.
And to piggyback on this, because I may have shared this in the after show. You know, after shows are cool. We should do a different show. You know, but I think I have this image. I work with. I have very distinct images and experiences with goddesses, and this is a gesture that one goddess in particular did for me, and it's very much like this. It's like, and it's take my hand, but if you notice in Arunula's hand, we've got all of this power.
Power, the light,
and it's an offering. It's not a grabbing you. It's a here you go.
So
and you see it yourself. Funny. You see the truth.
Because he was, take what I have to offer. Don't ask for more. Go learn.
Yeah, and because wow, that's him.
Yeah.
That's him.
Yeah.
And and that was 2012 when I met him. And and his teachings and his influence is really the reason why I'm here today, why I'm able to why I have that confidence to go into the Western spiritual world and learn, and then be able to be that bridge, because he was the one that showed me that's what this is really is one.
Yep.
He was totally for Jamie. I believe you, because he was totally for, when it comes to women, he had a passion with making sure that we were brought into the fold. Sorry to say, no disrespect, but this tradition is an old boys club.
Yep, it is.
Well,
right?
Here's the funny thing about the dream, though, is coming to you then and giving you, it's him saying, give her the words, she'll know what's true and what isn't, right? If I give you the words that he would say to you.
Yes.
Right?
That's the way he taught me. That's exactly the way You have to see and embody. He was all about embodying and seeing.
And I have to say, as you both were talking about this, and I was making eye contact, he winked at me. and he winked at me. He's like, "Good, they got
awesome.
it."
He's really that's his personality, you guys.
Yeah,
that's his personality. yeah,
very
it is. It's an old boys club. It's an old boys club. So that's Jamie. That's his personality, 100%. And you're not the first person that has actually said that. You're not the first person that's connected to this deck that's had like an encounter with him. And I'm never really surprised because I shared this before. I think it was after the after show when he died. Remember, I was telling you the day that he died, I saw a rainbow here because I couldn't go to Nigeria. And it started to rain, and then I looked out the window. There was a big rainbow over my house, and then his son called me and said that he had passed. I was like, wow. And he had told me years before when I would ask, I'm so glad I asked all the question. What does a rainbow mean? I'm talking about, I was like a 3-year-old. I would ask everything, and he said, oh, whenever you see a rainbow, he told me that means a great soul has left, because a rainbow is a bridge. I said, oh, okay. So the day he died, I saw a rainbow. I was like, okay, a great soul has left.
Well, so, and when we talked, I'll share with everybody, when we talked, because I got a clear and distinct message when we were together and with your card and everything. And it was very powerful because he died on my grandfather's birthday.
That's right.
So,
that's right.
It's all those little connections that you're like, okay, I know what I'm being told and what I hear is true.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. And so sorry, old school. He wasn't in my pile. I forgot. Oops. But he knows.
We were gonna bring him up. We were gonna.
That's okay.
So. And we called him old school because he's a principal of a school, and he just taught everybody. He was just a teacher of everybody. So I love that. So we called him. That's his So yeah, that was So the next this is good. This one I liked because I love shadow work. Like when I discovered Hung, who was it? Carl Jung, right? Carl Jung is the one that really coined that term. And being a Scorpio, being ruled by Pluto, I'm always about the shadows, always. So when I wanted to incorporate that into this deck, but I didn't know how. Of course, as synchronicity will have it, as I'm studying, like, that book that I recommended to you, Jamie, I'll just be studying, just looking, and now I will find a text. It's like I will find a chapter and a verse in the sacred messages coming out of Ifa. So one of the messages, the old saying that I found that, the West African ancestors like to say is, they say tire tibi la daye, that means in good and bad is how the world was created. In shadow and light is how the world was created. That duality. So once I heard that, I said, wait a minute. This is the shadows. This is the light and the dark. This is yin and yang.
Yep.
Boom. And I was like, oh, I have to include that. So I wanted to design something that spoke of that shadow, but then also was very much stuck to the theme of the deck, which is, West African, and sort of like came up with this because I had this image in my head. And I think it has to do with, really listening to Carl Jung about how we have that face that we present to the world.
Yes.
Most human beings, they just want to have that perfectly, whatever face, happy, always happy. And the shadow side of us is often hidden down, right? And then, but if we don't pay attention to that side, if we don't really, reconcile it, it'll just.
Both are required.
Thank you. So, and the West African ancestors were saying the same thing. They're telling you that, look, good and bad, they came here together. There is no devil, because we don't have the devil in that was just a Roman thing or Greek or wherever that came from. We don't have, most African cultures actually don't have any like pure embodiment of evil that was created separate from this creator, the creator deity, and that whatever shadow side are yin and yang, that they're here. That's what makes the world move. So yeah, that's what I wanted to.
Yeah.
Persona is presented to the world, exactly. The persona and the, what's that id? What's that other one called? The shadow side is called id, right? The id is the one that we keep,
Push
we
down.
repress, push down. So I love this.
And I do
So you
want
see,
to
the
acknowledge.
maggots, he did such a good job.
Absolutely.
Who is this artist?
This is the same. So this is the same artist for everyone except Orunmila. So all the ones in my hand are by the same. So this is Idowu Emmanuel. He's the main one.
I love this. I love this art.
Yeah.
I love this art.
Again, and this is his designs as well. That's his technique. You know, the little layers that you see.
The symbols within.
Stuff. Yes.
Yeah. I want to acknowledge something that Joe said when you mentioned the rainbows. Joe said, "Hi, I say a gay is born when a rainbow shows."
That's cool.
But I will take your version. I will grow. So, and White Wolf Mother says, I have to say this, Spirit says you can't have light without dark.
Exactly. That's what everyone says. I mean, that's what all the indigenous people say.
Yep. I think it's a balance.
Freud,
so
was
I like that. Ego, super ego, id guy.
Id guy. Persona, shadow, anima, animus.
Shadow, anime, animus.
Thank you. Yes, exactly. I'm all for like going into the shadow, because I mean that's just where the information, you know, the shadow is dreams. The shadow is where I went into to really produce this deck.
Yeah.
You know, I had to really go into like my super ego, underneath the subconscious, and just pull out information, because you just have to make sure that you know how to come back.
Yes.
So yeah, I love.
Thank you.
Because I mean, all the designs, I wanted to make sure I want to keep simplicity in mind. It's such a complex, and I'll say it again, it's such a complex subject matter. You don't want to then design something that makes it even more complex.
Yes.
Yeah. So
absolutely.
So the next one, this is that deity Oya that I was telling you guys about. So this is Oya. Remember that one, the mother of nine? So that's her. That's my. Okay, so I stole Julie's one of Julie's illustration. And
look away, Julie.
The Queen of Pentacles in, wait, which deck was it? I think it's a Mahat. I love that face. I think it's the Mahat. I think it's the Mahat. It's not the Journey into the Egypt Tarot, but it's one of her Queen of Pentacles. I just love that face because, yeah, and I wanted to, that face just spoke to, thank you, it's the Mahat. Yeah. So that's Oya. And, you know, in this particular illustration is Oya, Shango, and Oya. I think a lot of people have heard about Shango, but if you have not, Shango is like Thor, right? You know, the Greek, the same archetype I'm talking about is literally the same, except with the blonde hair.
Yeah, and that's
literally has the axe, throws it.
There's
lightning.
These are archetypes, and I think when we open ourselves to find out how other people understand the archetype, it deepens our relationship with that archetype. And Julie said it was the Queen of
Coins,
and you are welcome to her.
Thank you. Yeah, so I wanted to. She just embodied. When I saw that, you know, years ago, I was like, this is Oya to me. So okay, so Oya and Shango. This is one of my favorite. He did such a good job. They are like the divine, you know, that perfect alignment of the divine feminine and the divine masculine, and they are each other's favorite person to be around. You know, the story in the Orisha pantheon goes, I've already explained who Shango is, right? So he's a the force of fire, lightning. He controls rain as well. And obviously, I've said it before that she is the deity of storms, wind. So if you imagine those two forces together, that's what happens when we have a storm, right? You have the lightning, you have the thunder, you have the wind, you have the water rushing. So that's why West Africans put those two together. And the story goes that Shango actually had 16 wives. 16, imagine. And when he met her,
I'm like, yeah, how's that?
In the same house. In the same house. And when Oya came on the scene and he had an interest in her, she was like, I didn't grow up with my father having any co-wives. My mother, this is what Oya said to him. This is why I love her so much. She was like, I didn't grow up with my father having co-wives. My mother was the only wife for my father. Therefore, I can't be with a man I'm not going to be a co-wives. It's either you get rid of your 16 wives or I go. And he got rid of his 16 wives. And they've been together ever since. So that's why the subtitle is The Divine Couple.
Yeah.
And Beth said, I love the way cultures share archetypes, thus the idea of a universal archetype. But how cool, like the way ancient traditional music sounds alike.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you imagine the music that the two of these would, have going on?
The storm is the storm.
Yeah. I mean,
when you get that thunderclap, very powerful. Very powerful. And I just love, he did such a good job. Look at the fire, look at, blowing out of his mouth. And Shango as well is the perfect showman. He is all about showmanship, magic. He's really the deity, the one that, really likes to show off magic, eats fire, blows out fire, very likes to dress up and all that. So,
yeah, it's incredible.
Incredible.
Yeah, and just everybody, just so that links are below.
Two sides of the same coin.
Responsibly do that. Two sides of the same coin.
Same coin. Yep, exactly. That's exactly how you describe them. And then,
forces.
Is this the last one? Was that 7? That went so fast.
It is.
So I mentioned Oba Tatala earlier. I mentioned a name called Oba Tatala. Oba Tatala, for people who kind of know Orisha, he's well known like Oshun, like on the male side, and because he's known as the oldest. He is the oldest Orisha, and he's one of those forces. He's one of those Orisha that wears the all white, very very old. It's same thing with Olokun being an Orisha of cleanliness. He likes truth. So lots of depictions about him online. If you type in Obatala online right now, you're gonna have like 101,000 depictions of Obatala. So I said everybody has Obatala, so many different ways. They've depicted him. So I wanted to do something different. So I said, okay, what should I do? So how this came about was in one of my consultations with the people back home, because sometimes I would get consultations with the priests or priestesses because I'm fixing my life while I was designing this whole thing. And also learning through, like what my godfather was telling you, Jamie, it's like you learn through the experience. So to experience it, sometimes you really have to go through a consultation and listen to the message and then take on what the advice is and then see how that manifests in your life. And that's one of the messages that I received when I got a consultation of Obatala. That particular Orisha came up, and the story that came attached to that was that, I shouldn't worry about anything because Obatala was with me and they were telling me that he's so powerful. All he has to do is just light his lamp. Doesn't need any jazz, because we always call like fancy stuff jazz back home. He doesn't need this, he doesn't need that, he doesn't need potions and leaves and all that. He's such a powerful and pure energy because he's so old and simple. All he has is his lamp. And when he wants to drive away the negativity, all he does is just lights the lamp. And that power just clears any kind of negativity away.
I have to say, I love that image and that thought, lighting the lamp, because then that lamp shines the light. It's like it's like the smile. It's infectious.
Yes.
I light this lamp, then I can light, other people light their lamps as well, and it just brightens everything.
And it brings the truth, and it illuminates, purifies. Somebody was saying purification.
Yeah, and I think Obatala would like that idea. That light is passed from one to another.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely.
I like that this card, in shuffling through, looking for all the cards that you picked, this is the card that has remained on top today. So it was just like you picked it, and I was like, right here. I'm like,
it's so funny. So we matched too. Yeah. And the Fitila is the Yoruba name for that old-fashioned clay lamp. You guys have seen, I think the Hindus use that clay lamp as well. You've seen, what do Hindus call that lamp? Anish knows, because she practices Hinduism as well. There's a lamp, they use a clay lamp, and there's a name, so it's the same, so we call it Fitila.
Gotcha.
So it's actually a clay lamp with oil in it.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
You light of others. Yeah.
Yep.
When you feel surrounded by, it's because you are the light for others. It's true.
Yep.
Exactly.
Jamie, and I want to be respectful of everyone's time. Do you have, is it a?
Yeah. Yes. Thanks, Beth. Thank you. Yes. That's it. Yep.
Do you want to look through and go, oh yeah, I love that one. There are just so many that are just, it's like, and I get, okay.
Those are my three that were sitting there, other than the ones that
I picked. That is so cool.
I love that ancestors one.
Yeah.
That's actually a real mountain. I've told you guys before. So that one, like Gerald just said, that depicts, like, it's a real mountain in West Africa, in Nigeria. And historically, I came across the story, right, that when they had wars in West Africa, the two factions were fighting. The villagers that lived around that mountain used to run into that mountain to hide from the people who were trying to capture them. And I just thought that was such a cool story. And the story goes that mountain is connected to Orisha Yemoja. They also call her Yemamaya. She's the great mother, and as some say, that is a manifestation of her. And that when those villagers would run into that mountain, because she wanted to protect them, you couldn't find them. As soon as you went into that mountain, the people that were chasing them could not find them.
Oh yeah. And I remember, this is the card that I think you pulled when you were doing a reading for me. And Jamie, you have this one too. I love this card.
Yeah. I remember I was telling you guys, wanted to really, the law of attraction. Who hasn't heard it? Remember back in the day, I was talking about the law of attraction the other day. When you remember when the book The Secret came out, you guys, it was crazy. It was crazy, and I was just obsessed as well. And when I found, again, it's a synchronicity. I knew about the law of attraction. I knew about the teachings. All of us did. I think all of us bought that book. So when I went deeply into my culture, and I started finding these sayings that is very similar to the law of attraction, like, just wishing yourself blessings upon rising. That's the greeting that we will use to greet each other. May this day bring you blessings,
Yes. I'm trying to find, is that a card that you're referencing there? So.
No, she was just talking. Yeah, it is a card. It is what number is that? 6? No, it's not 16, because that's Ifa. That's the lamp. That's Oloju Marriage Logo. I'll tell you right now. That is card 24.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah. That's card 24. So that's a 16-eyed lamp. Very interesting. Verdict lamp. I didn't realize. Yeah, I didn't realize the verdict lamps. I know they had the little lamps, but
and Igun, right?
Igun, yeah, Igun is a dreamscape. It's one of my dreamscapes. One of my images that I got out of a dream.
They sit together a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing. This is one that when it shows up, a beautiful reminder of the importance of everything that I say and everything that I do is manifestation.
Yes, Ashe, indeed.
You know what I think of when I think of that, when I see that card, whenever it shows up?
What?
I always think of Amina's voice and the information that she's given, the knowledge that she's willing to impart. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Wow, that's cool.
And
that's cool.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, I hear you, and I feel your laughter because of that joy with the sharing of it.
Yes.
And and that's excitement. I keep the vulture with
Osoyin. Osoyin is card 43, I think. The green man, the one that looks like the green man.
I'm looking right now.
Yeah. So he's basically, the archetype of the green man, the green man of the forest, the deity of herbs, healing, and all that.
We talked a lot about him last time.
We talked a lot about, we did. We did. Very cool.
Wow. Yeah, I love all of them. It's amazing.
So everybody gets it. Know your limits, purchase responsibly, follow the links below, save up your coin, don't drink a cup of coffee or two for a week, and build it up. Shipping is fast. You shipped quickly because it does come from the UK.
Comes from the UK, yeah.
So, but
the last card was similar to which card?
Was it this one?
Or this one?
Yeah, I was gonna say this one.
So I'm watching chat. Wish we're all watching chat.
Oh, maybe she's talking about Osoyin.
I think the thing that he's right. It's an investment. It is an investment, and I think it. The one that looked like the Green Man.
Oh yeah. Oh, I never caught that, Beth. That's a good one. That's a very good point.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Look at that.
That's really good. So if this card comes up, see, this is why I like liaising with other people, like working with other people, because you just see things you never saw. So if these two cards came up in a reading, that's like major healing that needs to happen for that person. That's cool. I never I never even thought about that.
Yeah, that's really neat.
This is why we do it.
That's cool. Yeah. Good stuff. The one with the green, with the persona. Wow.
So when are you going to be doing some stuff? Are you going to be doing any other lives soon?
Not that I have lined up, because I just get it just happens very, very spontaneously. Me and Jackie, the lady that did the numerology, the last live that I did on my Instagram, it was very spontaneous. We were supposed to have one last month as well, but I was so busy with work. We had to postpone, but we haven't said anything yet. So I don't have anything lined up yet, but I would like to do more.
There you go, people. That's how you do it. This has been delightful. Thank you. Oh my God.
Yeah, this is fun. I always learn. Every time I come up, you guys, I always learn something.
Does that mean we might be able to ask you back and to do something else?
Anytime, of course. Jamie, I wanted to ask you, you said the card spread you have to tell us a story. Do you want to tell us a story, like what you feel? You said like a couple of them.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's one of the things that Gerald and I do together. So I have to pull my cards back out because I put them away. But
yeah, I should have asked that one when you had it.
So it's always fascinating to me because, well, and it is general archetypes where you have this giving, right? The flowing into I will whap you on the forehead, but I will do it compassionately while you stand before me, right?
Yep.
And so it was interesting to me because when you talked about her, and I understand the history and everything that goes with this card, but to me, you look at her and she gives you the face of beauty, but she also says, this is my face of, okay, let's stop for a moment because you're going to get the opposite side. Right? And then you flow into this, and it's about choices, and it's about how deep are you going to go?
Yes.
How far will you get pulled down, and where are you going to spring up? What are you springing up from? Right?
Wow, that's so cool.
Right?
Okay.
And it's that eternal love.
Yes.
It binds it all.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's the story for me. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
But I'm not standing inside of you. But that's how, when I look at those cards that you pulled and how they just do this together.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's
beautiful.
A reading, isn't it, Joe? That's like
that's amazing. And I think if you in your personal practice, if you use cards, are not taking the time to visually see how the cards relate to each other, just visually, you're missing an opportunity, I think, to have a different experience with your readings.
Yes.
Because, I mean, Jamie just told a story. You know all of the cards inside and out, and you're still learning.
Yes.
It's
amazing.
You could layer on top of that information.
Well, see, this is one of those things, and this is something that we talked about before, and it's something that has happened in kind of Dreamscape. And I will mind my mouth, but it gets a curse word there. This is not a deck that I play with.
Right.
Because I feel entity, and I feel the disrespect of it for me. This is just for me. This is how I relate to cards and art and all of that stuff. So I'm very careful with this one, just because I never have the intent to offend,
Right.
Yeah.
That is well said. I appreciate that. And what I haven't done is I haven't placed this next to other spiritual path cards, because I would be interested to see, because in my world, I mix dogmas. It's okay.
Yes. Yeah.
And actually, I, in a humorous way, the experience that I've had is I've seen these pantheons intermingle.
Oh yeah.
It's like at a cocktail party, and they're saying hi to each other. Oh, I haven't seen you in a long time, and
100%.
And it's a lot of joy, and it's like, oh, don't forget to tell about that. And I love what Plucky Heroine said. And now I have to watch part 1 and buy the deck. I do purchase responsibly. It's my responsibility to purchase.
Well, I mean, we do. So we do a couple of readings a month together, and we do pull one of these cards as that overarching connection for the month, or whatever, moon or whatnot. So I have not had them not play nice with any kind of tarot, from the Witch's Garden to
the Out of Hand.
Yeah, any of them.
Interesting.
They're very complimentary.
And Beth said, I definitely would not play with that deck. Total power. That would be like trying to command.
That's hilarious.
And
I'm just imagine trying to command the cat.
yeah,
It's
good
like
luck.
they just ignore you. Like, really?
That's like trying to command Bast. Good luck.
Oh, God.
Michelle Marie is here. Hello. And I am with Michelle Marie tomorrow at 7 Eastern. And
Okay.
it's an exciting show on their channel. And Sparkle Baby said these cards give more insight. Love them. Yeah.
Thank you.
It's
amazing.
truly amazing.
That was cool. That story, that the way the layout, Jamie just did was pretty cool. I love a story. I love stories.
Well, one of the things that I've done, once you gave me the resource, right, and I understood what this book was about, do you know what I mean? In that it is social studies, it is history, it is work, right?
That's it.
I would pull a card and I would go look. And I would
to see
the story. Because, I mean, your guidebook has a tiny bit, right? But this is like the big.
That's
the
it.
big
With the
picture.
divine feminine. Exactly. Exactly. I'm really glad you were able to connect that, because that's where
I love this book.
That's where my foundation really began.
Yeah.
I love this book for knowledge to connect to.
If you really want to find a divine feminine, if you like a divine feminine, a goddess, interested in goddess studies all across culturally, I think for your Yoruba culture, that's the best book to start with.
Yeah.
To start with.
It's amazing. I had to sit down though, and I said to Gerald, I'm like, I'm not sure she gave us the right book.
I did warn you guys that I was like, now that, remember when I said before you bought it, I said it is a very tedious read. You kind of have to read, leave it, and come back.
Yes,
I didn't believe you.
I didn't believe you either, but it is a slow chew. It's the hors d'oeuvres. I'm going to have one of those, chew on it, because it's very much at it's very much at a deep level. Joe, here's the name of the book.
Deep level. And like Jamie said, it's more like a social studies reference, but it's not like a book that you're just gonna read and you're gonna get it. No, it's
no, but I mean, when you
the
get
research is impeccable.
I mean, if you look,
it has the references. Yeah,
I mean, I'm highlighting the heck out of it because and putting my own notes in the margins, because I mean, holy cow. I mean,
I'm gonna embiggen myself so I can put that up there. So see that.
Yeah, I'll say if a person really is about goddess, studies, interested in divine feminine, walking along that path of the divine feminine, it doesn't cross culturally. Doesn't matter what culture you're from. I think when it comes to your Yoruba culture, West African culture, this book is a must. He did such a good job.
Oh,
the research, I'm telling you, is impeccable. I know it's impeccable because when you come across actual practitioner, the Gerald knows about this, real elders that practice this thing that he's talking about, they're giving him kudos. They're like, yeah, that's true. Everything he says in there is correct. I'm like, wow, that's amazing.
So
yeah.
This has been glorious. Thank you again for your time.
Thanks, guys.
And it's and I know it was cruel to say only talk about 7 of them.
No, it's good because look at how fast that hour and 20 minutes went. Look at that.
It's quite good.
It's crazy.
All right, everyone.
Quick.
Thank you for being here. Like and subscribe to everybody's channels because it helped, blah, 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 do all the YouTube-y stuff, and leave a comment because that blah, blah, blah helps the algorithm. Go over and subscribe to you on Instagram.
Yes. Yeah. I'm more present in my Instagram. I'm trying to be more consistent, but I work full time, you guys. It's not easy.
Of course. Of course.
Understood.
And
thank you, Joe.
We will see everybody later. We're going to do the outro. Take care. And then we're going to have a short after show. All right.
Sure. Yeah, I have time.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.